Well, g'day everyone and welcome to Trip for Two Australia. On today's episode, I'm going to be installing Bluetti's all-new Charger 2 DC to DC charger. If you thought Charger 1 was good, you wait until you see what this can do. So go and get yourself a cold drink, get your feet up next 10 minutes or so and come and join me. Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Alison.
We decided a couple of years ago that we'd work hard and save all of our money and start living life on our own terms.
So we bought a caravan and hit the road on a trip for two all around Australia.
So why not come and join us every week for our adventures? Alright, before we get too far into today's episode, if you've been watching our channel for a little while now, you'll know that we already have Bluetti's Charger 1 DC to DC charger fitted inside of the mighty Colorado, and we've been using it to recharge our power station as we've been driving around this big beautiful country for over 12 months now. And I've got to say, I cannot fault it. I absolutely love it. We use it every single day of the week. We've recommended it to so many people who watch our channel, and through their feedback, they absolutely love it as well. So when Bluetti approached us and said, look, do you want to try Charger 2? I've got to say at the start, I was very reluctant. But when they started to tell me the sorts of things that Charger 2 could do well and above what Charger 1 was capable of, I've got to say I was fairly impressed. So let's not muck around any longer. I'm going to get it out of the box and I'll tell you all about it. All right, let's see what you get inside the box. Well, obviously another box. So let's get this one out. Inside this top box here. All right, so here's all our cables. We'll go through all of these in a second. I'll also see some instructions in there and some mounting screws and stuff. We'll have a look at those more closely in a minute. And then under the styrofoam here, we have our all new Bluetti Charger 2. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to getting this out. All right, let's get it all laid out and we'll have a talk about what comes in the box. And here it is, Bluetti's all-new Charger 2 DC to DC charger. Let's go through everything that come in the box today. So first up, obviously we have our Bluetti Charger 2. I've got to say, it is a little bit bigger than Charger 1, but I tell you what, it's got so many more functions, it needs to be. The other thing we get is we get an array of cables. First of all, you get a 5-metre battery cable. You get MC4 input and output cables. You get a solar cable. You get a 75 amp fuse. You get 6 mounting screws, a book of instructions, which I'm going to grab very soon. And the one thing that you don't get in the box, but comes with your Bluetti when you buy it, is this bidirectional cable. And we'll talk about all that as we go through today's video. All right, just before I go ahead and I install Charger 2 into the back of our vehicle, I need to remove Charger 1. I left it in here on purpose for a couple of reasons. First of all, to show you how easy it is to swap the two over. It's pretty much plug and play because the battery lead that I showed you that come inside the box is the identical lead that you got with your Charger 1. So there's no need to change your lead over. And the other reason I want to show you is we've had this in the back of the ute now for about 15 months or so. It powers our power stations every day of the week. It's taken an absolute hammering as we've driven along some of the roughest tracks that Australia's got to offer, and it has never stopped and it has never ever let us down. It's a really quality product. If you've never installed one of the charger units into your vehicle, then you're going to need to run that battery cable. I'm not going to demonstrate that in today's video, but I am going to cut in a link to when we installed Charger 1, and you can go back and you can watch that at your leisure and see how we installed that cable. All right, so when I originally mounted Charger 1 into the vehicle, I mounted up on one of these side covers here in the back of the dual cab when you've got a draw system, but I did consider it mounting on the sidewall here, but for me it always worked best there, and that's the thing that you'll need to work out, and we'll talk about what you need to think about when you're putting in Charger 2 a little bit later on. But I'll just remove this last little screw here off the sideboard and we'll get our Charger 1 out. Now there's only one tool that you're going to need for today, and that's a Phillips head screwdriver. How easy is that? Here's Charger 1 now out of the vehicle. Check it out in comparison to Charger 2. Charger 2 is a considerably bigger unit. We're going to talk about all of that very soon. Rightio, just before we install Charger 2 into the back of the vehicle, let's just take a quick look at it because it's going to be pretty bloody hard to see once I've put it inside. But first of all, here's the unit here. It's about 23 centimetres by about, I'd want to say about 15 or 16 centimetres. So you need a little bit of space to put it in. Just looking at the top of the unit here, you'll see it has a power on-off button over here. And in the centre here, you'll see there's a vent, that is the inward vent, so there's a fan in behind that which is drawing air through and exhausting it out through the sides of the unit to keep the unit cool in operation. When you're mounting the unit, you need to make sure or try and ensure that you've got at least 20 centimetres or 200 millimetres of clearance all around the unit. I'm definitely going to be able to achieve that for the top, the front and for the sides, but as far as the back of the unit goes, I don't think I'm going to be able to achieve that. That's just the layout of my dual cab ute, but I don't think that's going to interfere with it too much. I mounted Charger 1 in a very similar way and didn't have any problems whatsoever. And on the side of the Charger 2 DC to DC charger, you're going to find a number of different ports. Let's just quickly have a look at those. So starting over here on the left hand side, I have the D plus port. This is for plugging in a smart alternator. Here I have the alternator port, and this is the one I'm going to put our battery leads back into, and they are the ones that we left in there from Charger 1. Here I have the charger port, and this will support the MC4 cable for either a power station like our AC240, where I'm just going to use an input cable like this one, or if I'm going to use our Elite 100 V2, I simply change to this particular cable, which is really easy to do, and I'll show you how to put these cables on in a second. Next to that, you'll find a PV port. Now, this is an input port for a solar panel. So once again, I can connect up with one of the MC4 input cables. I can put that in, connect it to a solar panel and receive charge, not only from the alternator with Charger 2, but I can also get it through a solar panel or a combination of both. The next one along is the DC power panel. Now this one is for the hub. I'm going to show you that a little bit later on in the video. And finally, I have this area here for the battery, and these are the ones that I use with the bidirectional cable, and that's the one that I showed you a little bit earlier in the video. Sorry for the extreme close-up there. That one I use to power other Bluetti type products. So I could be running fridge power from that. I could be charging a battery like the B300K, those sorts of things. So to install any or all of your cables, all you need to do is just remove this top plate that you've got here. You'll see that there's some Phillips head screws. There's two of them that secure it on. All I need to do is firstly remove those, and that'll expose the top of the panel so that I can adjust the grub screws and tighten up the cables that we install. Alright, because all the cables are installed the same way, I'm just going to demonstrate how to do one. So I'm going to do the charger cable here because the battery cable's already over there in the car, but as I said, it's all the same. So all you need to do is just get your Phillips head, loosen off your grub screws to open the port, and then insert your cable. Okay, so positive to positive side and negative to negative side, insert your cable and tighten your grub screw. That easy. Once your cable's in and they're nice and secure, all you need to do is just replace your plate over the top and screw it back up. I'm not going to take it on or put it on right now because I'm going to go up now and then connect up the battery cables and get it installed into the vehicle. So I've decided I'm definitely going to mount my Charger 2 where I had my Charger 1 mounted before. As I said to you before, you do need to get that 20 centimetres or 200 millimetres of clearance all around, and I'm able to achieve that just about all the way around, except for this back portion that I spoke to you about before. That'll be about 5 centimetres away from the wall in the back of the ute, but we never had any problems with Charger 1. It didn't overheat at all, and I don't think it will with this because it seems to have a much better ventilation system in it. One thing I did notice though is the battery cables come into a different area on Charger 1, so I just need to reroute those slightly, but it's only a minor modification. I'm going to mount it on the board out here as we see it now. I'll mark it up in a second, and I'm going to drill a couple of holes here in the front, which I'll run the positive and negative leads through from the battery so I connect it into the alternator port. And there it is, there's our Charger 2 secured to the board. So here it is, Charger 2 secured to the board. I've drilled the 2 holes in place that I want to put in to run my positive and negative lead through from the battery to put into the alternator port. Now, of course, you're not going to have these problems if you're mounting it, let's say, into the back of a wagon type vehicle, maybe a Land Cruiser or something along those lines, because you can simply just mount them on the wall and you won't have the same clearance issues as what I've got. Unfortunately, in the back of the dual cab ute with our canopy, I cannot do it that way. I prefer it that way, but I cannot do it that way. So here's our positive and negative lead that are coming back from the car battery. I'm going to thread those up through the 2 holes that I just drilled in the mounting board. Just in the back there, you might be able to see it. I'll see if I can get the camera in there. I have a little isolation switch. I've turned that off, so I've got no power running through at the moment. Once I've threaded the cables through, I'll turn it back on and then we'll power up our Charger 2. All right, I hope I get this in the shot okay. It's very, very confined space to be in, I can assure you that. So we'll get our cables through, run the negative up, the positive up first. Here it comes. There we go. There's our positive through. And now our negative cable. Now obviously as I'm pulling this through, the cable's getting shorter and shorter all the time, so it makes the workroom a little bit less. I hope that you find it a lot easier. This is just the area that I chose to mount it in, but hopefully all will be good. Come on, Steve, where is it? So there's my positive and negative cables through from the battery. Those 2 holes I think are going to work an absolute treat there. What I'll do is I'll get them secured in. They go in exactly the same way as I showed you to put on this MC4 cable before. There's no rocket science required there for those. Just once again, loosen up your grub screws, push in your clamps, make sure you get your positive and negatives in the right holes though, and they are clearly marked on the back of the power station itself. And here on top you can see there it says alternator. It shows you positive is on the right and negative is on the left. Don't confuse them. Once all that's done, I'll replace the top plate there and I will turn the power back on and then we'll start up our Charger 2. All right, I've got a little bit of excess cable here, but that's all right. I'm going to push that back down through. And once again, like I said, with the MC4 cable, really easy to do. I'll push in the extra cable, makes it nice and neat. Here comes our positive. The light just went out on the GoPro, sorry about that. I thought I'd done something with the Charger 2. All right, they're in there nice and secure. We'll push our positive wire back down through there. How is that? The other thing I'm going to do just before I do put the top plate back on is I'm just also going to connect the PV port so that I can hook up a solar blanket to the Charger 2 as well. So we'll get those plugged in. I find these easiest if you just undo both grub screws and then push in both of them at the same time. It just seems to work a bit easier, and then just tighten your grub screws. All right, make sure they're secure, and they are very good. All right, let's get the top plate back on. So just put it into place. Once again, with your Phillips head screwdriver, just tighten your grub screws back up, or your retaining screws back up. So I've just turned the kill switch back on, and you can see straight away that the power button is now starting to what they call breathe green. In other words, it flashes green, and that means that we've got power running through to the unit. Once I start to run a charge through that, this will turn to a solid green whilst the charge is going in. So it's really easy to see that you've either got charge going in or you don't, and it will flash, or it'll be a solid red if you have a fault. And if you do get a fault, all you need to do is just refer to your manufacturer's handbook, and it'll tell you the sorts of things that you should be looking for. Well, that's the end of our install of Charger 2. And remember, at the start of this episode, I told you that we're only doing an install today. I want to go away, I want to use it for a few weeks. I want to give you a good review of exactly how well it works, particularly in comparison to Charger 1 for the people who own Charger 1s. But just before I leave today, I think this is a great time to go over some of the technical aspects of Charger 2 and how it differs from Charger 1. And I think for the most part, it works a lot like Charger 1 in the way that it receives its charge from your car's alternator. It uses the excess energy which is being created by your alternator and delivers that as a charge to your power station whilst you're driving down the road. But one of the most significant changes with Charger 2 is the solar input, and that really changes the game because it's something that I can lay out when I'm in a camp off-grid for long periods of time. I don't necessarily have to take the car for a drive anymore to recharge my power station. I can just let the sun do it all for me. And here's the best part, and the part that I like about it most. If I'm combining a solar input and the car's alternator input up to a maximum of 1200 watts, Charger 2 will recharge my power stations or one of my Bluetti batteries 13 times faster than a standard SIG socket, and that's pretty impressive. The other thing that I really like about Charger 2 is it works two ways. So if you own a Bluetti battery, and for this example I'll use, let's say, the B300K, but I'll also put in a list of other compatible batteries here along the bottom of the screen. I can not only recharge that battery from Charger 2 while I drive down the road or via a solar panel, I can also take power from that battery and feed it back via the directional cable or the bidirectional cable that I showed you a little bit earlier in the video, and I can recharge the car battery if it starts to run flat. That is absolutely incredible. I've got to say, this is a world-class charger unit that I think a lot of people are going to be really interested in. And if you are interested in upgrading to Charger 2 and you already own Charger 1, Bluetti have a very, very special deal on at the moment, which only lasts for the next 72 hours, so you have to be quick. You can buy yourself the brand new Charger 2 unit and install it, or upgrade and install it exactly like I did today, and as easy as I did today, for 199 bucks. But keep in mind, you're not going to get everything that I showed you in the box today because it's only an upgrade. You don't need the battery cable and those sorts of things that you got the first time when you got your Charger 1. But if you'd like to get the entire package, everything I showed you in the video today, then you can do that for the special price, and only for the next 30 days of 599 bucks for the whole bundle. And that's not a bad deal, let me assure you of that. And if you want to save yourself even more money, you can use our exclusive discount code and save yourself another 6% off that already low price, which I reckon's a great deal. If you have any questions on today's episode, hit me up in the comments section. And remember, today was only install. I'm going to do a review in a couple of weeks' time. I want to give you that fair dinkum appraisal of exactly how it performs for us living our lives out here on the road every single day of the week. If you like today's video, give me a like. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do that, because not only do we do reviews on products, we also do our regular travel blog, which you'll find every Saturday at 7 o'clock. But until next time, travel safe, and we can't wait to see you out here. Bye-bye.